It's the K Country Morning Show with Gabe and Carrie.
You can listen to us on the K92.3 app and on this podcast.
It's K92.3 with Gabe Glidden and Carrie Mack. Happy Wednesday from the K Country Morning Show. We hope you had a great Tuesday, or as they say in England, Carrie.
Happy Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Thank you.
It's like CHEW.
Yeah, Tuesday. It's not in it.
And then,
There we go.
I feel you. All right. Well, how was your day yesterday?
It was good. It's a little chilly, so I'm just trying to make the best of it. Did some grocery shopping, and I am on top of a budget now. This month, I have started budgeting.
You were telling me a little bit about that yesterday. You don't have to tell us any of the actual numbers, but what is your plan?
$60 million a year. No.
Do you really?
No.
And I'm still in this dump? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
That's why you're leaving.
I'm just kidding.
I'm sorry. What were you saying before I interrupted you?
Well, what is the plan? I thought you had something kind of interesting. You sort of shared this with me a little bit. I think you have a good plan.
Yeah. So I put into ChatGPT how much.
Make me a budget, please.
How much money I make a year. Like certain things and like
what you're trying to save for, where you're trying to go.
Exactly.
Right?
I'm trying to save for a trip to Paris, but I'm also trying to pay down my credit card bill.
Oh, there you go.
Because that's going to be that's a big problem, let me tell you. So I'm just trying to be smart with it, and I've decided that like for my spending and all my fun money, I'm going to like go to an ATM, like print out a certain amount of money and only use that money for the rest of the month for like drinks, for going out to eat, for like fun little purchases like that.
I love how the first one was drinks.
No, but you know what I'm saying, like that sort of thing. So I'm trying to work on that to just be smarter and be more, financially literate.
More diligent, yeah.
Exactly, because I do want to go on this trip to Paris with my sister, and I also do. My brain is starting to be like, you are adult now. You must save for home. You must save for adult things. So that's what's going on in my brain right now.
I feel you.
But yeah, Gabe has been very kind and been giving me like some financial big brother advice.
Yeah. And I should have you know that I am no expert by any stretch. I'm just preparing you for like what it's like from being 26 to 33.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to give you a little head start on some advice that learn from, my mistakes.
Yeah.
What's it saying? Smart people learn from their own mistakes. Wise people learn from the mistakes of others.
Yeah.
Or some saying like, it's the K Country Morning Show with Gabe Glidden and Miss Carrie Mack. We're going to play the 5-second rule game just to warm on up the brain stems really quick, Carrie.
We definitely need that for sure, especially because it's been so cold. We need a nice little fire in our brain. That's why you'll see smoke coming out of our ears.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Carrie, I want you to name a job that a lot of people could say. It doesn't, anybody could do it. But a lot of times when people are like, oh, my first job. When you hear that, what are the 3 jobs you predict in your brain?
A babysitter?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yep. That's the first one I thought of.
A lifeguard?
Yeah.
Because I grew up in one of those areas where there was a pool and like a beach, so they had a lot of lifeguards there.
I worked at a pool in high school.
Yeah. And an ice cream shop.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I would love to have worked at an ice cream shop.
You know Ron Weasley from Harry Potter, the guy who played him?
He bought like an ice cream
truck with his millions and then just gave out free ice cream to people.
That's so sweet. I love that.
What a guy.
No pun intended. Gabe, can you name 3 different, types of writing utensils?
A pen, a pencil, a marker. Carrie, can you name...
Not a quill?
No. Can you... I went to high school with a guy who used a quill.
That's so kind of pretentious.
Oh, 1,000%. And he was a nice guy. I wasn't like friends with him or whatever, but you definitely could tell he thought he was like... He brought the energy to the room, is how I'll put that.
Like he was the personality hire.
Yeah. He was a nice enough guy.
Yeah.
But,
oh, my gosh.
Looking back on it, it's like, it's kind of cool. At the time, it's like, okay, guy.
He's like, excuse me, teacher. I must take the notes. I must get my quill pen ready for algebra.
Carrie, I want you to name 3 different types of haircuts a dude could get. Anybody could get them, I guess, but just maybe like that a guy would get.
A mullet.
Sure.
A buzz cut.
That's right.
And frosted tips. Dudes back in the 2000s got frosted tips.
I think that'd be more of a style than a cut, but I'll give it to you.
Okay, my bad. Let me, what about
a bowl cut?
No, there's the bowl cut, but what's the one that's like big and popular because of like David Beckham? The pompadour.
I have no idea what that is. It sounds great, though.
Yeah, there we go. Gabe, can you name 3 different types of musical genres?
Rock, reggae, blues, country, pop,
3.
Megadeth,
Trace.
metal,
I don't even know 3 in French, but
polka. What is polka?
Oh,
is that a genre?
yeah, polka's big back in Pennsylvania, actually.
That explains a lot, actually.
Like, Oompa Loompa. It's kind of like that.
That explains a lot, actually.
Yeah.
All right.
They would have a public program where they would play like polka music and like have people like dance to
I
it.
had this teacher, I don't know what you want to call him, like instructor at radio school, which I use in quotes. And the first radio station he ever worked at, he was on a polka station. And he had talked about how, despite not knowing a clue or having any idea about polka music, like, you eventually kind of pick your favorites just like any other station.
But that's so fun. Imagine going up to someone like on a first day and being like,
God.
what type of music do you like? Do you like country, rock and roll? I'm actually a big fan of polka. You know that the polka guy and the quill guy were best friends.
Oh, for sure. And the guys in the polka band and the ladies, their band name is like Margaret and the Crazy Eights or something.
I looked up polka. There is the Six Fat Dutchmen. That's a band.
I knew there was a number in it. I knew it.
The Happy Travelers Orchestra.
That's great.
I love this
All
so
right,
much.
Carrie, I want you to name 3 of your favorite ways you celebrate something.
Telling the people I care about what happened. If there's like something cool that happened, that's how I celebrate, kind of.
So sharing the news.
Sharing the news. Having a party.
Sure.
And going out for drinks. Why am I mentioning drinks a lot during this show?
Because you're
today?
trying to get hammered on a freaking Wednesday, Carrie, and I'm all for it. Come on. No, I'm just playing.
Party hard, party sober, brother.
You got one more?
Yes. Can you name 3 different animated creatures?
3 different animated creatures?
Yeah.
Clifford, the big red dog, Bluey, and we're going to go with Cat Dog.
Justice for Cat Dog.
It's the K-Country Morning Show with Gabe Glidden and Carrie Mack. And there was this interesting conversation we had yesterday about finances that actually spilled into my DMs, Carrie.
Okay.
I was discussing this with I think we can call him a friend of the program.
Friend of the program.
Dakota Dave. We were talking just about, how when I'm leaving and where I'm going and just what we're going to do as far what he does as well with like the joint account, one account transfer. It was just a whole deal yesterday.
Yeah.
And one of the things that was brought up was the magic number in which you talk to your partner if you're going to spend more than, right? So most people, I would say, probably don't need to call their wife or call their hubby if they're like, hey, I'm going to go spend $60, right?
Yeah.
If you have it, you go do it, whatever. Now, maybe the number is $60. Once again, there's no right or wrong number. I want to know, what is your kind of magic number that it's like, I'm going to make a phone call just to check in. Maybe you're not asking for permission, but you're just like, hey, I'm going to spend $150. Is that cool?
Yeah, I feel like depending on your situation, we kind of talked about this yesterday, whether or not you have a joint account or if it's 2 separate accounts.
Yep.
Like if it's your money, I think as long as it's like $800, I think is sort of the
$800?
If you're making that big of a purchase, then you need to include your partner on it. But like I think
$800?
Yeah, that's what I think.
That's when you're making the phone call? You don't, what, a 747? You're not making like hey, just a heads up, I'm going to go spend $700.
Well, I think I just think depending on like your financial situation and how big that purchase is, obviously
$800.
That's the first thing that came to my mind. If I'm going to buy something that's $200, I don't think I need to touch base necessarily with my partner about it.
Okay, sure.
But I think once we get like above 500, that's where it's like it can get a little crazy. But I think $800 is the moment where you need to tell your partner, hey, I'm spending this much money. This is why. And this is what's going to happen.
Okay.
I think
right
800 is like where you have to tell them.
Okay.
So like maybe like around the 500, 600 mark, you're like, hey, I'm going to check in, see what's going on. Again, I'm not saying spend $500 like it's nothing. But
Sure.
I think depending on if you have like a separate account or a joint account, I think $800, no matter if you're rich, poor, whatever, is a huge impact on your bank account.
800.
Yeah, that's the first number that came to my mind. I believe 800. If there's a big purchase, I think $800.
Well, what are you just willy-nilly buying for $800?
It's not willy-nilly.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like what? If it's either the rent, which
Yeah.
you would both in theory be paying, like what are you going out and say, hey, I'm going to spend $800 worth of fun money?
I think
What is that item?
maybe like a nice camera, a new tablet or a laptop. I think those sorts of purchases you need to touch base with your partner about. Maybe a new mattress.
Yeah, but aren't those things you would buy together? Like a new mattress, if you're living if you don't live together, then you can go blow $1 million.
Yeah.
Who cares? But if you live together, I would like to think it'd be like, oh, hey, honey, I'm going to get a new mattress.
Yeah,
What do you think about it?
I think that's what I'm trying to say when it's those sorts of big purchases. Like, if you're going for a fun little trip to Target and you spend like maybe $100 or whatever, that's one thing. But if you're making a very sizable purchase, $800 is just the number that came to my mind. But if it's something that could impact your partner, I think that's where you do need to talk to them about it. Like if it's like a home appliance or something, then you got to talk to them about it.
Okay.
That's sort of what I'm trying to say. $800 is just the number that I came to.
Okay.
I was just thinking of like those big purchases that
Sure.
you can make, whether it be like $500 to $800, something like that.
All right. Fair enough. Right on. All right. On the way.
What about you, Gabe?
Well, thank you, Carrie, for asking. I was going to, I would say, like, if I'm going to spend more than $200, even if it's my own money,
Okay.
because Corey and I have the setup where we have the joint account for bills, our spending money. I think I'm not necessarily asking permission, but if I'm spending more than $200,
Okay.
is when I would just be like, hey, honey, I'm planning on buying this. Is there any reason right now that you would rather I didn't?
Okay.
Maybe she's low and needs a couple bucks for
Okay.
something at some point. Once again, I'm not saying, am I allowed to do this? I'm saying, I'm going to do this. Can you tell me why you would rather I didn't?
Yeah, because like your partner is like the person you like they're your teammate.
Yeah,
So if
maybe
there's
she
something-
gets paid in 2 days, her account's low, and she's like, oh, I need some gas in my car.
Or I was going to go get groceries.
Yeah,
maybe
or
just
whatever.
Like postpone this
Yeah.
until later on.
So if anything about more than $200, if it has a 1 in it,
okay.
I'm kind of fine just willy-nilly blowing it. Once we get to like 250, 3, 4, I'm
Okay.
definitely saying, is there a reason you would rather I didn't do this?
Yeah. So what in your mind would you be buying with like hypothetically like maybe $250?
Like, for example, great example would be something maybe with like the computer. Maybe I want to
Okay.
buy a new part to upgrade it, or,
Okay.
or something to do with golf. Maybe I want to buy a new golf club, or I want to buy some golf lessons, or whatever the case may be. Things like that are really kind of just me, fun money spending.
Yeah.
Maybe I want to gamble it.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I want to take $200 to the casino and try to turn it into $1,000. That's kind of where anything without a smaller than $199.
Okay.
I don't think is a big giant deal for our house. Once I'm above 200, it's like, well, I mean, I got to remember I have a teammate here that could and might need my help at
Yeah.
some point. I better just make sure that she doesn't need it, I guess.
Yeah. No, I got you.
What if I'm going to spend like $120 because I'm at a football game and I'm buying a T-shirt and a couple beers and going
Yeah.
out to dinner? I'm not really, who cares?
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Let us know, what is your magic number where you kind of find just spending willy-nilly, and then once you get to a certain amount, you're like, I better check with my teammate. It's the K-Country Morning Show with Gabe Glidden and Carrie Mack. I don't know if you know this, Carrie, but last night something for the first time in history happened in sports.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of assume so. So,
Was it hockey?
it was hockey. So
Okay, there we go.
I'm a big hockey fan. That's just kind of what happens when you grew up where I grew up.
Yeah, when you grew up in Minnesota.
You sort of come out the womb just into hockey, whether it's the Gopher hockey team or when the Wild came around. Everyone loves them, whatever. And I'm watching the Wild game last night, which I do have. I don't know if my beef is with the Wild, the NHL, or Bally Sports. We're going to talk about that later on in the program today. But one of the coolest things I had ever seen happen, I had never seen this I mean, I wasn't there, not like live, but I'd never watched it live. I've only ever seen highlights of this, right? Mm-hmm. The Minnesota Wild goalie scored a goal last night, an empty net goal. So the goalie shot the puck the length of the ice, and the St. Louis Blues, maybe there's some St. Louis fans here in Iowa. I know it's kind of a popular team for some people. They had pulled the goalie because they were losing, and our goalie scored a goal the length of the ice, the first one in Minnesota Wild history.
That's cool. That's sick.
Yeah, Corey, my wife and I were sitting there watching the game, just kind of willy-nilly. She was sort of playing on her phone. I was just watching it, and all of a sudden, there's like, I don't know, less than a minute left. We're up by 2-3 goals. St. Louis pulled their goalie. Our goalie caught it. And when he set the puck down, everyone was like, wait, is he trying to shoot this? And he shoots it the length of the ice, and it goes in. The first goalie goal in Minnesota Wild history, the first one I have seen ever live in the moment. I've seen him on highlights, of course, like on YouTube, but it was one of the coolest things I had ever seen.
That's kind of, no pun, like, pun not intended, but that is kind of wild.
Yeah, it was kind of sick. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's like how, okay. Give me a number. How long is like a hockey, not field, the ice?
That's good. I don't know, 110 feet, I think.
Okay.
I think.
So I'd
have to double check.
So in basketball terms, it's like if, you know.
Full court shot.
Yeah. That's kind of cool. Full court shots are wild to watch. I can only imagine how it feels like when there's some extra factors into it. Like the goal. Like, are the goalies trained to try to shoot, or are they just like, yeah, don't bother?
I'm sure they mess around and do it in practice, but no, they never, like, how often does a goalie really get to shoot? You know? Like maybe, I don't know, once a month.
Oh, really?
Well, no, I mean, normally the other team has a goalie.
Oh, so the goalie was out.
Yeah, they pulled the goalie for an extra skater.
Did they not put a goalie in there?
Well, there was. So now we're diving into the hockey minutia, which, you know, we don't really have to do. A hockey rink's 200 feet long. I apologize. Not 110. I think that's, I don't know what sport I'm thinking of. 200 feet. Sorry. Well.
So did they put someone who's usually not a goalie into the goalie position?
No. So they pulled the goalie to get an extra skater on the ice.
It's like you can do that?
Yeah, it's like a strategy when you're losing. So you get an extra player per se, and who can skate around as opposed to a goalie who just sits in net.
Oh.
That's a whole hockey strategy thing. But either way, one of the coolest things I've ever seen live in the moment. I want you to message me on the K92.3 app. Have you ever seen a really cool sports thing, a sporting moment? Were you there when Caitlin Clark hit the bucket? Were you there for a championship win? Were you there when, you know, someone maybe in baseball hit for the cycle, which is a home run, triple, double, single, and a single? You know, just let me know. What's one of the coolest sporting events you've ever seen live in person? Message us on the K92.3 app. I wasn't there in person, so I'm not claiming that, but I did watch it in the moment, which I thought was really cool. I've never seen that before. And I've been watching hockey for 33 years.
Again, as someone who wants to get into hockey and wants to understand it a little bit more, you're painting a picture pretty well in my head.
Sure.
And I appreciate it. For all those non-sports fans, it still sounds pretty cool.
On the way, we have Jelly Roll coming up, and we'll get some Nashville news to you as well here on the K-Country Morning Show.
It's the K-Country Morning Show on K92.3, and it's time for your Nashville News Minute. Bad news and sad news for Carrie Underwood fans. The singer announced that she's ending her Las Vegas residency in April of next year. She said on Instagram, "These past 3 years have gone by so fast. I've had the absolute best time." This makes sense. It kind of coincides with her making that career move to be a judge on American Idol. So she obviously won't be able to, perform to the best of her abilities at the Las Vegas residency, flying back and forth, yada, yada, yada. Check out the full story on the K92.3 app.
Talk about a busy lady. It is kind of interesting, though. She could literally do nothing and just sing the Sunday Night Football thing every year. And just live the cushiest life hanging out on a beach somewhere in the Poconos.
So, hey, that's where I'm from. I love that. There we go. Carrie Underwood, you want a room with my parents?
Time to bust this bad boy out today, even though it's about to be like 75 in a couple of days. And so I have my hat on over it's over my ears. So the headphones we wear in the studs is over my hat.
Yeah.
So there's an extra layer of I can't quite hear a little bit. So I've had to turn up the volume to hear what you've been saying for the past, 20 minutes or so. And I just realized I might need my hearing checked at some point. Oh, my God.
You look pretty cool in the beanie.
Hey, thank you.
You're
I
rocking.
appreciate
Is
it.
this the one that you traded?
That's
the one you traded at like a Minnesota Vikings game?
And hey, prove me it didn't work because they went on to have the greatest comeback in sports history.
Yeah, you're there you go. You did it. Also, I'd like to formally apologize to Gabe because whenever
this is rare. Everyone listen up.
I apologize to you.
I'm just playing.
But when I'm over, like I'm doing some production work on the other side of the studio where Gabe is, I blast the headphones.
Oh, it's the loudest thing in the world when I get in here in the morning.
And I feel so bad.
So loud.
I bet it just shocks you.
That wakes me up, I'll tell you that.
There we go. It's like a cup of coffee or it's like a cold shower.
Yeah. So I just wanted you to know that this is like my Michael Jordan flu game here. I'm going through some adversity this morning. I had to turn up the volume to hear better. So I just wanted you to be aware of what I have contributed to the program thus far.
I just want everyone to understand that Gabriel's idea of adversity isn't, struggling to get by. It's struggling to hear. Even though we are literally maybe not even 4 feet apart. Like, if you can't hear me, that's a problem.
On the way, Luke Combs, Tim McGraw, Keith Urban. Also coming up, this kind of is a conversation it's a little bit different, but it's fairly similar to yesterday. We had kind of a financial sort of discussion yesterday, and we have kind of another one today. But this one is more about kind of that magic number you're willing to spend before you might check in with your significant other. And note, we are not necessarily saying ask permission.
Yes.
We're just saying, hey, I'm going to buy this. It costs this much. Is there a reason you would rather I didn't on this day?
Yes.
Maybe you can get it next week after payday or something.
And it's not like a guy thing or a girl thing. Like, I have to check in with the wife, got to check in with the hubby. It's like it's a partner thing.
That's right.
Like when you are at a certain point, when you're at the shopping center, the Target, when do you have to call up the old ball and chain and make sure everything is good to go?
Yeah, and it is kind of funny. My wife and I have different answers on this, so we'll talk about what it is in 10 minutes.
Hopefully her
It's the K-Country Morning Show with Gabe Glidden and Miss Carrie Mack. We want to know, is there a magic number to where you would let your partner in on, or you'd give them at least a heads up before you were going to spend this certain amount? We had a little financial discussion yesterday. We kind of rolled that into today. In just a conversation that kind of spilled into my DMs with Dakota Dave. We were just talking about, what him and his wife do, what me and my wife, blah, blah, blah. And we were just chit-chatting, shooting the breeze as fellas do. And we had brought up like, I could probably spend this and I'd be fine without mentioning anything. And I was like, that's a good question. What is my number?
Yeah.
And we were kind of talking about it. And then I was talking to Corey about it yesterday. So, Carrie, what would your kind of number be? Once again, this is not a permission thing, but we're just saying, I'll let them know. That the appetizers aren't going to be at Applebee's the next time we go out because I blew a bunch of money.
Exactly.
We're just getting dinner and water.
Yeah, we were just getting the 2 for $20 meal. That's
right.
what we're doing.
That's right.
So in my mind, I said a certain number earlier on in the show, and I'm kind of going back and forth on it. Like, I'm not sticking to my guns, and I'm not ashamed to say that. But I think,
Okay.
I think if there's like a major purchase, like if you're buying a new air fryer, a new microwave, a new mattress, something like that, when it's that sort of purchase where like that sort of money is being used, I think that's when you should definitely touch base with your partner. So
Sure.
if you're going out to buy a new microwave, which is like, how much is a new microwave? Like,
I have no idea what microwaves cost these days. I don't know, $40.
no way.
I
How
don't know,
much
like
are microwaves?
At the thrift store? I have no idea. What's a microwave
like a
cost?
nice new-
Oh, you want like one above the stove stainless steel.
Okay, so at Home Depot, $208.
$208
for a
perfect.
Whirlpool. I think that is like, when you're bringing something new into the home like that, that's where you got to touch base with them when
Okay.
you're getting that sort of new device.
Okay.
So I'm shifting from like 800 to maybe like 300, depending on what you're purchasing.
Okay.
But I think you definitely, if something is like $500, that is where you need to talk to them.
Okay.
200 is like, I should definitely like mention it.
Okay.
$800 is if I don't mention this, I'm getting put in the doghouse for the night.
Okay.
That sort of situation.
I feel you. Right on.
So it runs the gambit, but I think like $500 is like a good number.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, to
I
touch
think
base with.
Fair enough. At my house, I have no problem blowing anything that has a 1 in it. That is my number. $138. Me and my buddies went to the game, went to dinner, bought some beers, got a T-shirt, and paid for the lift home, right?
Yeah.
Out of sight, out of mind. Don't care. Once we have a 2.
Which is a privilege. Again, we're very privileged with like the fact that like $100 just, is.
Yep. Well, I've allotted that money to I don't have it anymore before I've even gone.
There we go.
Right, it's out. Anytime I would spend $200, if it was something for just myself, I would probably mention something. I don't think I'm necessarily asking for permission, but I would just be like, hey, this costs this. I would like it. Do you want me to wait to buy this for whatever reason? And then I would just wait and then buy it. But my number would be like 2. That's my, I'll send a text, just a quick 4-second phone call is $200. And not that I'm just out willy-nilly spending $200 left and right. I'm not saying that either. Usually if I'm spending that much money, I've told Corey for like a month that I want to buy this. And
like it's something that's already been planned.
Yeah, right. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
I asked Corey this question, my sweet, lovely, beautiful wife, who I love more than anything on this earth, Carrie.
I really hope her number is like $800.
She texted me back with a bunch of laughing emojis and she said, let me find it. Give me a second, Carrie.
No,
I need to read this exactly what it said here. Hold on.
Chime in on the K92-3 app. Give us a call, 833-4985. What is that magic number that if you end up spending it, you have to talk to your partner about it?
Here we go. If it was money from my own account, I wouldn't call you ever.
Honestly?
But then she was like, no, realistically, it'd be like $500.
Yeah, there we go. I think that's like, we're the same sort of mindset right there. $500.
Which is so funny. If it was my own money, I'd never call it. The most Corey response of all time. Because she knows I would be like, why do we need 8,000 cat trees in this house?
Why don't we?
I can think of a billion reasons why. You know why, Carrie? Because one day you might have to move, okay? And there is nowhere to put them. I don't know where to pack these things.
That is...
And we only have 2, but...
Yeah. Oh, that's not crazy. And you have like 5 cats, so that's perfect.
Yeah. Anyway. Well, we have 3. I lied. 3. 2 purchased, 1 was made. But
okay, got you.
Either way, let us know on the K92-3 app. My number would be about 200. Corey's would be about, well, it doesn't exist, supposedly.
And I think my number is like 500. That's a fair number.
Let us know. We have Zach Brown Band coming up, and we'll get to your comments right after on the K Country Morning Show. It's the K Country Morning Show with Caitlin and Miss Carrie Mack. Do you have a magic number that you are willing to spend without kind of checking in with your significant other? Maybe that number's 3,000. This number's always subjective. There's no right or wrong answer. If you're Bill Gates, right? I have a feeling Bill Gates isn't calling up Miss Bill Gates to say, hey, I went out and I bought, a new minivan.
I think he's divorced now.
Oh, well, whatever.
So maybe he spent too much money on those minivans.
Yeah, maybe.
And
you
that's
never
what
know.
Caused the divorce.
My whole point is, to Bill Gates, I'm sure him going out and spending $100,000, I don't think he needs to check in with said Miss Gates.
There we go.
When they were married. But who knows? Maybe that's why they aren't together anymore.
Exactly.
Who knows? But you get my point.
No, I got you.
This number's a little different for everybody.
Yeah, it's very subjective, like Gabe says. Sarah Lee said, we have been together 13 years and married 6 and have separate accounts, so we don't ever talk about it. I'm serious, too. I normally go to him and say, here's how much I have. I'm looking for a car. Will you help me find one? And vice versa. We don't even know how much each other makes.
Sure. I don't know if I know exactly what Corey makes either.
Okay.
I don't think.
I didn't know if that was, again, not in a serious relationship. I don't know if that's like a normal thing or not.
It's so funny hearing from the dudes and hearing from the ladies in this. For example, Chad out of Walk On, $20 and I'm scared. My house, $200 and up. I'm not asking.
Yeah.
But I'm probably just sending a text. Mm-hmm. And for Corey, she said, I'm not going to tell you really ever, but realistically, probably $500 or whatever. And it's just funny going through these comments.
And you guys have separate accounts, so that's part of the whole thing. Like if you had a joint you have a joint account, but if you were spending money from that, you'd probably touch base with them.
Yeah, I think probably anything more. I think she did mention that yesterday. Probably anything more than like 100. But if you're spending it from the joint account on something you want, as opposed to we need, then yeah, we would definitely have a conversation about that.
John said we actually discuss everything beforehand.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay.
If that's what works for them, that's what works for them.
But I'm just wondering, like everything beforehand, are those just like the big purchases, or is it like maybe like I'm going to the gas station and filling up the truck sort of thing?
Yeah, maybe they do. Hey, I'm going to go put $50 of gas in the car.
True. That's some good communication. I got to respect that. Jane said ours is $500. If over that, then we talk first.
Sure.
There we go.
Yeah, great number.
Again, communication is the key to not only any relationship, but navigating the financial parts of it.
Yeah, I got an interesting message from our boy, Dakota Dave.
Okay.
And this is so funny. The most honest to goodness dude purchase ever.
Okay.
And I want to share it with you in about 10 minutes here on the K Country Morning Show. And it was $500. I'll tease that part. But in about 10 minutes, this is the most guy thing I have ever heard. And ladies, you might have had your man do this as well. You showed up at home and there's just something new in the house that, you might not necessarily be very into or ever going to use. We'll talk about it in about 10 minutes on the K Country Morning Show. It's the K Country Morning Show. Is there a magic number you are willing to go up to for spending? And then once you hit it, you're like, I'm going to send a quick text.
We're going to touch base here.
Just, checking in about, dropping $7-8 on some lottery tickets.
Oh, only $7 and $8. Look at you. Look at that.
Hey, it might be a winner.
Yeah, you never know. And then you're just investing in yourself.
That's right.
At that point.
Dakota Dave and I were talking about this yesterday, and he's to start things off. His numbers. He said it was about $200. They is when they kind of start talking about it, which is about my number exactly. He did message me as well this morning, and I got permission to tell this story. He said, I did spend, he spent it, not almost, he did spend it, about $500 without telling his wife one time. He says she went, I scrolled and lost where I was here. She went with her mom to go a wedding dress shopping with her sister. So, Dakota Dave, what did he do? He ordered himself a PS5 for curbside pickup.
Curbside pickup? That's convenient.
Yeah, and went to pick it up as soon as they left. He set it up, and when she got home, she noticed, he's playing with like a different controller or whatever. I don't know if his wife really knows much about PlayStations or whatever. Doesn't matter. And she asked if he got a PS5, and he said, yep. Thankfully, she started laughing, and she asked when I got it, and he told her all about it. And what a great story. That is such a guy thing to do. I'm not saying girls don't play PS5 or video games. I'm not. But very rarely do you hear the story about the lady who had to sneak in the PS5 from her husband. You know what I mean? He'd be jacked. He's like, I get to play NBA 2K now? Or the new Madden or whatever. So what a great story, dude. How many ladies are out there whose hubby snuck off and bought himself a PS5? Probably plenty.
I'm glad that was like received well by the wife.
Yeah, sure.
Because like the thing that we're like really like I think that like is we're figuring out deep down is that like if you communicate with your partner about things, that's where like you can get away with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and I'm sure our buddy Dakota Dave had mentioned for weeks or months, you know, about wanting to buy one of these.
Yeah.
But if it was just willy-nilly, he's got of steel, if you know what I mean.
And he's got a great wife who is very excited for him.
That's right. Way to go, Dakota Dave. That was a great story.
We're still talking about this. Rich said it depends on what I'm looking at, but generally about $300. Sure. How much is a PS5 or whatever it is?
About $500.
Woo! And then
they might be a little less now. I'm not sure if the price has gone down. When they were new, it was nuts. But
how much are the games on average? How much is a game?
Probably anywhere from like 40 to 70 to 80
What?
bucks.
Really?
Yeah, it kind of depends. Yeah.
That's what I was a gamer once.
I love this.
I played the Nintendo DS.
Okay, what's that?
And, it's like a Game Boy with like the two screens.
Okay, all
like
right.
one was a touch screen, and the games were like maybe like $15, $20.
Okay.
Back when I was a wee lass.
Okay.
That's when I got Nintendogs. Let me tell you, that was pretty exciting. Kelsey said, people talk to their husbands before spending. Whoops, I'm doing this wife thing wrong.
That sounds like my wife, which is funny.
But would you be upset if she snuck in a PS5?
If Corey snuck in a PS5?
Yeah.
No.
You'd be stoked.
That'd be dope. It's the K Country Morning Show. Who's this?
This is Cassie.
Cassie, how we doing?
I'm good. So I was cracking up about your mattress comment because my husband and we have very separate accounts. I have money, he has money. I don't know how much money he has in his account. He doesn't know how much money I have in my account. But I went out and bought a $1,200 mattress. He wasn't there. And I was like, hey, it didn't fit in the back of the Suburban. Please go pick it up.
What if he hates it?
Too bad.
Oh. All right. Hey,
I get a good night's sleep.
Hey, there you go. If that's what works at your house, that's awesome. If my wife showed up with a brand new mattress that I didn't get to take for a test spin at the mattress store, I'd be like, what on earth? But hey, if that works for you, that works for you. I think that's great.
Yeah, it's great.
Can I ask, where'd you get the mattress?
Neighborhood Home in Waverly.
Well, all right. Big shout out to Neighborhood Home in Waverly, helping you with all your mattress needs. We appreciate you, Cassie. Where are you calling from today?
I am on my way to work. I just got into Waterloo from Reedland.
Wow, that's beautiful. I hope you have an awesome day, Cassie. Thanks for calling.
Thanks. Bye.
There we go, Carrie. There's a lady who they don't care. That works for them. I think that's great.
Wow.
I will say, though.
I will say, we're not dumping on anyone.
No, if that works for them, that works for them. That is none of my business.
Yeah.
If my wife were to show up with a mattress that we both have to sleep on, that I got no input on, I would feel a way about it. I don't think I'd yell per se, but I'd be like, oh, I spent a third of my life on this thing. I guess I didn't get to take it for a test run.
As someone who loves her sleeping, if it is disrupted by a mattress that, not dumping on her, not dumping on the whatever, but if it doesn't fit my exact wants and desires, I'm sorry. What are we doing here?
Right.
I'd be so bad.
Maybe it's for the guest room, too. We don't know.
Yeah,
There's
we
a lot
don't
of
know.
things that we don't know about that. But I would feel a way if I got a phone call from the old ball and chain at noon to go pick up a mattress.
Like it's on the back of your truck. Like if it falls off on the highway, sorry, honey. Oh, no, I didn't mean for that to happen. You're going to have to go with me to pick out a new one.
On the way, we've got your chance to win some tickets to see Jelly Roll. We'll have that at about 8:20 with more details on the way here on the K Country Morning Show.
Cold weather, and now it says freeze warning. So that's fun.
There you go.
Looking forward to that.
Hopefully the mums are doing okay outside.
Oh, no. Hopefully the moms are doing okay inside, too.
I see what you did there.
Yeah,
Hey, I'm with you on
Thank
that.
you,
Okay,
thank you,
beautiful.
thank you.
We've got Blake Shelton coming up. We have Florida
You
Georgia
didn't actually
line.
like it, but that's fine. That's fine.
No, I'm with you. I got it.
Okay.
I'm with you. Moms, hopefully all are well
Yeah.
and surviving this frigid air.
Oh, my gosh. I can't stand it. Just put on. Now I'm so annoying. I'm complaining about the cold weather when I was complaining about the hot weather.
Yep. Yes.
So you just agree that I'm being annoying.
I am going to introduce Blake Shelton, Florida Georgia Line, and Jelly Roll. They're all coming up. And speaking of Jelly Roll, you have a chance to go see him in concert with $500, and you get to go on a cool trip with a friend or a significant other or whoever you want.
And if you're sick of this freezing cold weather like I am, guess what? It's going to be in Florida next month.
Oh, yeah. It'll be a little bit warmer there.
Yeah, for sure.
At least you hope.
Oh, Gabe. Oh, come on.
We'll have more details on how to be. Well, I don't know if you know this. That was Jelly Roll, Carrie, here on the K Country Morning Show right here on K92.3. Would you look at that?
Isn't that crazy? Jelly Roll
Jelly
playing
Roll.
on K92.3.
Wow.
And it looks like we might have a chance for someone to fly away to go see him in Florida.
Yeah, it would be the opposite of that song. It would be awesome. That
Yeah.
would be all right.
It would be pretty okay
That's
for you to
right.
fly away to go see Jelly Roll in Jacksonville, Florida. And it's going to be a great time because not only do you get 2 tickets to the show, you get hotel, airfare, all of that covered, plus $500 in spending cash we always like to say, and by we I mean me, when you get the $500, you can blow a little bit of it on like the concert merch.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that stuff can get expensive.
Yeah, definitely can.
Yeah, for sure.
They know what they're doing. That's the only place other than the internet to buy it. When you're there and you want to wear it in person, you want to wear it to the show.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough to buy concert merch, not at the concert, unless you plan ahead and use whatever internet you'd like.
True. So
they jack up the price.
Yeah.
There's nowhere else to get it.
I do get a little annoyed with that. But that's besides the point. We know everyone has to make their money somehow. And you could be flying away to go see Jelly Roll in Jacksonville. Make sure you're listening to the K92.3 app because we will have that code at 8:20 for you.
That's right. Your code is on the way here on the K Country Morning Show. It's K92.3 with Gabe Glidden and Miss Carrie Mack. We have got your code for your chance to fly away and see Jelly Roll. Plus, you get another ticket. We got the airfare for you. We got the $500, the hotel stay, but you need this code to do it.
This hour's code is 428. Enter 428 into the free K92.3 app. And let me just tell you something. This is going on in November in Florida. I don't know if anyone is aware of what the weather is like in Iowa in November.
It's probably a little chillier than Florida.
It's a CRAP shoot.
Okay.
Depending on what happens.
Oh, okay. I get it. Sorry, that took me a second. Okay. Yeah, Carrie, you're right.
Yeah, you don't know if it's going to be warm, cold, whatever. We don't know what's going on, but I will guarantee this. It'll probably be warmer in Florida than in Iowa in November.
That's a safe bet.
That's a safe bet.
Very safe bet.
I'm not a gambling woman.
But if you were,
I would bet it on that. Put it all on red. 428, enter 428 onto the free K92.3 app. Jess will have your next code at 10:20.
It's K92.3 with Gabe Glidden and Miss Carrie Mack. It is a Wednesday, and we want to give you some free venting therapy today on the K Country Morning Show. I have something I actually legitimately am so irritated about today. And I don't know who my beef is with, Carrie. Maybe someone can help me, but I'm going to let you go ahead and go first.
Oh,
what are you fired up about today?
Thank you. I'm not as fired up about it as Gabe is.
I'm insanely annoyed.
Gabe is very annoyed, but I am actually genuinely getting sick and tired of seeing this. Okay. So this is my irks my nerves. You know what irks my nerves, Gabe?
What?
When I'm on the dating apps.
Okay.
And I'm swiping. Looking for the love of my life. I'm on all the dating apps, so it's rough out there.
Okay.
It's just awful.
Okay.
Really rough.
Maybe you should find a person that just like a nice Barnes and Noble.
Hey, I got to leave my house for that, man.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Gas money.
My bad. Yeah,
that's gas
right.
money. That's
You're
money
right.
that I'm spending on books. I'm trying to save money.
I didn't say you had to buy a book. You could go in there and just creepily
just look confused.
Read one.
Like, hey! That's literally the dream.
Look lost.
Can someone point me in the direction of the books? We're at a Barnes and Noble. There's books everywhere, lady. No, what irks my nerves is when I'm swiping through the dating apps and there's an ad and I have to swipe left or right on it.
Oh, I know what
That's so stupid. I'm just trying to find the love of my life. No, I do not care about getting my insurance with Progressive.
Yeah, or like the new Etsy trend.
It's so annoying because I'm like in the mojo of like swipe right, swipe left, swipe right. No, I don't care about the Target deals right now. No.
That's so funny. I run into those on Snapchat all the time. It drives me nuts.
Oh my gosh. And it's just like, and it takes a minute to swipe them because they're so stubborn.
Slow?
Yeah, they're slow. So I'm like, come on, let's go.
I feel you.
And
Yeah, you're trying to find that person.
I'm trying to find the love of my life.
All of a sudden, you're learning about homeowners insurance when you live in an apartment.
But the thing is, the ads are getting more targeted. They know who I am.
Sure.
So they're like, here's your deal on cat food.
Yeah.
Here's your deal on vacations for one.
Sure. Okay.
Here's the deals on those fancy dinners that you can go to by yourself.
Yeah, right? Buy one, get one coupon. Oh, that's great.
Oh, but yeah, that's what the ads on dating apps these days, they are driving me nuts because it's almost like I have to, it's like they make a profile essentially for themselves.
Yeah, I feel you.
Like, just let me live my life, man. Just have a pop-up at the beginning when I'm scrolling and then a pop-up when I'm leaving.
At the end, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I'm with you. I am insanely annoyed about this, and I need someone to explain this to me like I am 5 years old.
Tell me.
I do not know where my irritation lies. I'm going to tell you what it is in about 10 minutes here. I'm not sure if my beef is with the NHL, the Minnesota Wild, Bally Sports, or just the entire state of Iowa. I'm not sure. We'll find out in 10 minutes. Maybe you can help me and let us know what's something that's been driving you nuts lately. It's K92.3 with Gabe Glidden and Carrie Mack. I need help. I need someone to explain this to me so I can point my irritation at the right entity.
Are you going to write a strongly worded letter?
No, I'm just going to move.
Are you going to tweet? I feel like you should tweet about it.
Sure. Yeah, maybe I'll tweet about it. Someone let me know. What is the issue here? Okay. So I'm a big Minnesota Wild hockey fan. We talk about this a lot on the show. From Minnesota, love hockey, blah, blah, blah. There are issues in the state of Iowa that baseball fans, hockey fans, I don't know about basketball as much, where they have blackout games. Like they're blacked out for our region or whatever here in Iowa. And I do not understand what my problem is. So Bally Sports, right, is the company, the entity, whatever, that broadcasts these local games, right? There's a Bally Sports Midwest, a Bally Sports North, a Bally Sports Wisconsin, a Bally Sports Los Angeles, or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I, with our recent cable package, purchased Bally Sports, right? I bought the product that airs these games.
Yeah.
You would think by paying for this product, no matter where I'm at, I get to watch the game. Well, the Minnesota Wild games have all been blacked out so far, except the one last night. Now, I have found a workaway around this, which is kind of annoying, but I have a legal workaway around it, by the way.
It just stinks you're paying for it and you have to work your way around it.
It makes no sense to me.
That is actually agitating.
Think about it, right? So the NFL Network or the Big Ten Network, when you buy that, you get to watch your game, your favorite team, wherever. You're not kind of just stuck with whatever Fox or CBS puts on the screen, right? If you buy I can't remember what the NFL package is. It's like $1 gajillion. But no matter where you're at in the world, you can watch the game, yada, yada, yada. If I'm paying for Bally Sports and they black out the games, why would anyone in the state of Iowa ever pay for Bally Sports?
That's a good
point. If they just black out the game.
That is so agitating.
What is the point? I don't get it. And I'm sure there's something to do with the NHL or Bally's or whatever, and I don't know who to be upset at. So I've been very annoyed at that the first 8 days of hockey season.
That is very frustrating. Kind of in the same vein as that, I signed up for the WNBA League Pass, and I can't even watch the finals because they're all being broadcasted on ESPN. But I paid $35 so I can watch all the games. But I can't watch all the games.
Yeah.
Because ESPN is broadcasting it.
Yeah. And so I would understand, for example, TNT, the TV network or whatever.
Yeah.
They've kind of gotten into the hockey world the past 2 years or whatever.
I've noticed that.
So if there was a game on TNT, right, and Bally Sports didn't have it on, obviously I wouldn't be able to watch the game if I didn't have TNT, right? I understand that. That's a nationally broadcasted thing, blah, blah, blah. But on the local network, if I'm paying for Bally Sports North, I should be able to watch the game in Iowa, Utah, Texas, New Jersey,
Timbuktu,
anywhere in the world if I bought the product. How is this blacked out? I don't get it.
Honestly,
it makes no sense to me, and I probably am dumb, but I don't get it.
Can I ask how much you paid for it?
It's included in our direct TV thing.
Yeah, so it's a part of the product that you were promised.
Exactly, yes.
Oh, my gosh.
So I don't get it. And so what I have done is got a VPN, which basically, it's like
VPN.
Yeah, it's techie, but essentially I just tell my internet that I live in Utah, and it is easier to watch Wild games in Utah, where my buddy Nick lives, than here in the state of Iowa, where we have the Wild minor league hockey team. How is this possible?
I say you write a strongly worded letter.
That's right.
Or you move.
Which will be happening right around the 28th. And I won't deal with this ever again.
There we go. That won't be a problem.
But I don't understand. Someone who knows better, can you let me know what the problem is? It's K92.3 with Gabe Glidden and Miss Carrie Mack. It is 9:01. Both of us are real fired up about something on this Wednesday, and we're going to continue this conversation in about 10 minutes here. Carrie, you're having trouble. The ads on the dating apps are just getting to you.
It's tough going on the dating apps trying to date.
Sure.
It's a cesspool sometimes.
Yeah.
But then when you add the ads, it just makes it feel like a business transaction.
Yeah, it almost makes you feel a little bit grimy.
Yeah, like a little dirty.
And you know the worst part, Carrie?
I'm not even.
Is these these ads, they're starting to feel a little bit personal. They almost feel like they know you a little bit. Like, oh, this girl, we need to get her a cardigan sweater and wet cat food.
Buy one, get one cat food deals.
Yeah. But if you buy one, well, you only need one, so that's all you're getting.
And Gabe is just really annoyed.
I hate it. K92.3 with Gabe Glidden and Carrie Mack. Happy Wednesday. We want to know, is there something you want to get off your chest today? Just something that's been bothering you. When you're driving down the road, do you have an issue where your windshield will only block like 1/10 of the sun? You can't get the entire thing blocked. So by the time you get to work, you're basically blind.
That's rough.
Or like, can you only roll your window down like 70% of the way? That would drive me nuts.
Oh, that would drive me nuts. Tammy said people using left lane to just drive when it should be for passing.
No, that's true.
Especially on the highway. I don't know what it is about some people just hanging out in the left lane.
Just like, cruising.
Just cruising for a bruising. If you got to go faster than like the people in the right lane.
Yeah,
you got to go around. Come on, for the love of God.
If you get passed on the right on the highway, barring like some rare occurrence where I don't know, maybe you can't get over, whatever.
Yeah,
you're not doing it right.
Yeah, that's on you. That's on you, brother.
I would agree with that.
Jolene said that I can only get Orlando K92.3 on my Roku.
That is hilarious. I wonder if people in Orlando can only get Iowa K92.3 because we get messages from Orlando pretty frequently.
Yeah, we do. We really do. And whatever they're doing, it seems like a whole lot of fun. And people get fired up about it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sometimes they'll have contests and Carrie and I have to reply with, hey, we really appreciate the message. Good luck trying to win that contest. We hope you win it. Now, we also need to direct you to the correct app because this one ain't it.
There's a lot of corporate synergy, I feel like that should be going on here.
That's right. Do you have one more, Carrie?
Yeah. David said the weather. First off, we need some darn rain because my yard is brown and dusty.
My yard is so dry. Holy smokes.
Secondly, can we get fall for more than 2 weeks, please?
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I agree.
It's the K Country Morning Show with Gabe Glidden and Carrie Mack. We end this Wednesday program with a little game we like to call Celebrities Gabriel Doesn't Know. That was pretty good.
That was. Today is October 16th. If today is your birthday, happy birthday. You share a birthday with this 27-year-old shy tennis champion. She's a tennis champion.
Okay. She's 27, so she's
a young whippersnapper.
But younger than I am.
Exactly. She has 2.8 million followers on
You know what sucks Instagram? Is I can picture exactly who this is. I just don't know her last name.
Do you know her first name?
Shailene.
No, you're thinking of Shailene Woodley.
No, I'm not thinking of Shailene Woodley. She's an actress, not a tennis player.
Okay, who? Okay.
Xiaomi something.
Naomi Osaka.
Okay, don't sit here and act like I'm way off. You're thinking of Shailene Woodley. Goodness. I've seen Divergent.
You a big fan of the Divergent
And The Secret
series?
Life of the American Teenager.
Fault in Our Stars is one of his favorite movies. Okay. Oh my gosh. This 47-year-old is one of your favorite guitarists. You know him from his song Say, No Such Thing, Waiting on the World to Change, Who Says, and Your Body is a Wonderland.
Quite possibly one of the, I would say, like most talented guitar players really of this generation. Now, there are hundreds of thousands of incredible guitar players sitting in their basement who aren't famous. But as far as like famous people who get paid to make music and go on tour or whatever, I mean, he's probably in the top 3 of like the younger generation of guitar players. John Mayer, for sure. Mm-hmm. Incredible guitar player.
That's correct.
Incredible.
This 62-year-old, he is the awesome bassist for the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, Flea.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Gabe was telling me I should get into Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah. This 66-year-old, this is just a Gabe day.
Really?
Yeah.
Today's the day, the 16th of October.
Yeah.
Okay.
This 66-year-old was the star of Shawshank Redemption.
Morgan Freeman?
No.
Andy Dufresne. Who
Nope.
was that guy?
I'm looking it up. I want to make sure I get this right for you.
Morgan Freeman is stars in it, and the other
I think
guy
he's-
is Andy Dufresne. I can't remember his name, though.
Tim Robbins?
Yeah, that's Andy Dufresne.
There we go.
Let me see.
You got this.
Let me see. This is Andy Dufresne in Shawshank Redemption.
There we go.
Tim Robbins. Okay. I didn't know his real name.
This 77-year-old is is a very talented person. He is from
That's a great hint. That's a beautiful hint. Before we get there, did you know somewhere on some TV channel, the Shawshank Redemption is playing right now?
just like The Devil Wears Prada.
It's on just an infinite loop. Okay, I apologize.
This 77-year-old was in the Grateful Dead.
Was in the Grateful Dead. I only can name 2 Grateful Dead members off the top of my head right now.
He's a founding member.
Okay, so it's either Jerry Garcia or Bob Weir.
Bob Weir.
Okay.
There we go. You got it. You narrowed it
A
down.
lot of guitar stuff today. I like that.
Yeah. This woman died in 2022. She
So
played.
this is no longer with us.
Yeah, she's no longer with us. She played Mrs. Potts in Beauty and the Beast, and she was also Jessica Fletcher on Murder, She Wrote. Would it help if I sang Tale as Old as Time?
No. No. That might make it worse. No, I'm just kidding.
You start bleeding out of your ears.
I don't know who it is.
Angela Lansbury.
So that sounds like a character's name in what's that show you like with the it plays like the modern day music, but it's in the
Oh, Bridgerton.
Bridgerton,
Yeah,
thank you.
kind of. Yeah, I can see that.
Angela Lansbury.
We got Lady Lansbury over here today at the bowl. Today is National Take Your Parents to Lunch Day.
Hey, cash in, Mom and Dad.
15 days until Halloween and 26 days until Veterans Day.
We will be back to talk to you tomorrow, and we're going to try to be a little bit better. Don't forget, Jess has a code coming up for you for your chance to see Jelly Roll at about 10:20, and we've got 30 minutes of nonstop country on the way. The world's full of nice people. If you can't find one, you got to be one.